This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When send past the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad to be back in the building. Really, I'm glad to be back in the building. You know what I mean? I had to take some time to visit some family. But I'm back. Tony, what's poppin' with you, bro? How you feeling?
What's good, Sim? Welcome back. It's been a minute. You know, glad to be back on the stream with you.
No doubt.
I know the chat is excited to have you back.
Yeah.
You know, we missed you, but
I'm
you know,
glad to be
MBK
here.
fan been holding it down.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, good things happening with the New York Knicks, man. You know, good things happening. I was at the game Monday against the Pistons, and you know, it was a great night. You know what I'm saying? The Knicks did their thing. You know, I had great company with me, so it was a dope night altogether. Dante DiVincenzo went for 40. I know the Pistons. I know Monty Williams was a little upset at, you know what I mean, Dante going for 40 and all of that. You know what I mean? But it was yeah. You know what I'm saying? That was a dope night for the Knicks. And then to come back and destroy the Toronto Raptors last night, take over the 3rd seed. Yeah, what can you say, man? The Knicks are doing their thing. You know what I mean? The Knicks are definitely doing their thing. Just your thoughts on the last few days, man, with the Knicks.
Well, I definitely want to give my take on the whole Monty Williams comments
Go for it.
and Josh Hart's response. I thought Josh Hart was spot on. I loved his response. You know what I mean? If you ain't like what was going on, then you know what I mean. Coach these guys up and have them stop it. You know what I mean? I don't think we was hunting shots until the last 2. You know what I mean? Like when they took 1-3 away, and then you know what I mean. He had 9 instead of 10, so he chased down them last 2 threes. But you know what I mean. So it's a record. Records. You know what I mean. When they close, you try to break them.
Right. So, you know what I'm saying? That's why I don't understand what the problem is. You know what I'm saying? Like this whole thing that, because you're beating us by 30, you can't score any more points. It's crazy to me, especially in the NBA. I can understand when you're talking about youth sports, elementary school, middle school, right? You know, maybe you don't want to crush the other team's confidence, the players' confidence, and that kind of stuff. But we're talking NBA, professional basketball players. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want the other team to score, stop them from scoring. That's how I feel about it.
And those moments is what makes the great ones great, because they remember it and they use it as fuel. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about the Pistons and what they think. You know, I don't.
I almost had some extra smoke for him, Sim, because I thought he was I thought he was the coach that coached Booker's 51-point game, but that was Watson, Earl Watson. So I you know what I mean, I had, because I was gonna say if you know what I mean, because they was getting blown out by 30, and you know what I mean, he kept Booker in. Earl Watson did, you know what I mean, kept Booker in to get his career high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With 51 in a blowout loss.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Monty. So I'm gonna ease back a little bit on him, but come on, man. You salty. You still mad about the last game.
You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
You should have just said that.
Right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Right, exactly. And it's Dante who did it to him again. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, he may not have another chance to drop 40 in an NBA game. right? I mean, I like the fact that Tom Thibodeau called the timeout and drew up a play specifically for Dante. You know what I'm saying? And it worked, and he knocked down the three. I like that. I'm saying I really do. I like that. So, you know, yeah, that was a good night, special night. You know what I'm saying? Last night, the Knicks destroyed the Toronto Raptors. Now, obviously, quickly, RJ, those guys weren't playing, but the Knicks took care of business the way that they're supposed to take care of business. I seen some posts somewhere that says something about, you know, I like the way the Knicks are playing without Julius Randle, ball movement, this, that, and the third. We got to put it in perspective, folks. The Knicks
It's been a narrative.
Yeah, the Knicks beat the Pistons. They beat the Raptors. You know what I'm saying? The Raptors not playing a few of their best players. The Pistons the same way. I mean, they beat teams that are in shambles right now or teams that are tanking. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we got to stop it. We got to stop it. The Knicks are better with Julius Randle and OG. No doubt about it. We got to stop it. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we're fueling a narrative just for the sake of fueling it. Yeah, we understand the Knicks got this many assists and all of that stuff, but we also seen the Knicks get 31 assists and scored 98 points against better teams, right? Because they had no gravity towards the basket. We got to put that stuff in perspective and chill with all of that. That's, you know, we got to stop it and just focus on, all right, the Knicks are playing well. They're learning how to score without Julius Randle, and it's going to make the offense better when Julius Randle gets back. You know, we got to chill with it. But the Knicks take over the 3rd seed. Did you think, Tony, that the Knicks would be sitting right now at the 3rd seed with all the injuries? You know,
I'll say this: a week ago, I didn't. A week ago, I didn't. A week ago, it looked like the 4th seed was the best we could be at, considering how well Cleveland was playing at the time. You know, maybe a little over a week ago, you know, maybe like 10 days ago or so. But, you know what I mean? Cleveland was on a roll despite their injuries, as were we, you know, still playing well despite our injuries. But it just didn't seem like we could catch them. And the fact that Orlando was right on our heels and they was on a roll, it didn't fit, you know what I mean? It didn't feel like we had any breathing room, any wiggle room. You know what I mean? And now we back to feeling like we control our destiny.
Yeah.
And that's a much better feeling.
Right. And right now, as it stands, the Knicks in the 3rd seed would play the Pacers if things were to shut down today. Right? The Knicks are 44-28, 6 games away from 50 wins. 6 games away. If the Knicks get 50 wins this season, after all the injuries that they suffered, Tom Thibodeau really's got to be in the running for Coach of the Year. I'm sorry for all the people that
the
don't.
problem is, Sim? You just said it about Julius Randle. They're gonna have to put things in perspective for them to consider tips. We have Knicks fans. We have the perspective.
Right.
We've seen what we, you know what I mean, despite the injuries. We've seen through the trades and how he's got guys stepping up at every circle. I mean, every angle. You know what I mean? Every position. Guys are playing up. But I don't think the voters, I don't think they're gonna have that same perspective. I think their perspective is, what did we project coming into the season, and what have these teams, or you know what I mean? Where are these teams now? So I think it's gonna be tough for him. But I agree. I think if they put perspective, he's got to be top 3 at least.
Has to be. I mean, the Knicks went through so many ups and downs, pitfalls throughout the season. You know what I'm saying? And to be where they are right now in the Eastern Conference and just 2 games behind Milwaukee for the 2nd seed, you know, like that's a hell of a coaching job. You know, so I mean, and not obviously not just the coaching, but the players too. right? Because the players, they had to band together. They had to fight through all the injuries and all of that too, and find a way to keep float. And they did. But Tom Thibodeau also had to coach. The coaching staff also had to coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a great job for the Knicks to be in the 3rd seed right now with 10 games left in the season. And to have a chance to move up to that 2nd seed. That's a hell of a coaching job. And I think he's got to be in the running, or at least mentioned, and you know what I'm saying, in the top 3, like you said. In the top 3. I mean, going through trades. How many trades this season?
2.
2 trades that significantly changed the lineups. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you took major players out of the lineup and added major players into the lineup. And then to have guys like Duece stepping up the way the Duece is stepping up, in the absence of guys like Quickly, who got traded, RJ Barrett, who got traded, and then, of course, Randle and OG are down, Quickly stepping up and playing crazy basketball, Dante DiVincenzo stepping up. Those guys get kudos, but also Tom Thibodeau, I think, gets some kudos for that, too.
Think about it. Not only did before DiVincenzo even stepped up, let's just talk about him stepping in as a new addition to the team. You know what I mean? So that's another obstacle in itself. Isaiah Hartenstein stepping up when Mitch Robinson went down. At certain points of this season, I mean, whether you want to use it as a critique in a bad way or a good way as far as Tibbs, but certain points in the season, Hartenstein was playing, heavy minutes amongst the league leaders in minutes. Pressures are true at certain points. We've just seen what Duece McBride was doing, playing 82 minutes, 84 minutes. You know what I'm saying? The full game, 82 minutes, and then 40 minutes, 42 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever. Josh Hart, everybody has kind of just stepped in and just kind of filled in on whatever it was asked from Tibbs. And Tibbs is making these decisions. You know what I mean? So, yeah,
right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. What do you think about the Knicks' chances of getting that number 2 seed?
I was texting with Shuttle last night about it. I think it's first of all, when you know how they say when there's a will, there's a way. When there's a doc, there's a way. So they got doc, so they could falter that 2 seed very easily coming down the stretch. They do have some easier schedule, I think, than us. If you just look at it head to head, but we do play them. That's going to be big. I think if we beat them, that negates, not in a sense, it negates the tiebreaker lead. Like, they're going to have the tiebreaker regardless, but we could at least gain a game if we beat them when we play them coming up. So that's a positive. They're not playing the best. I mean, they were a couple games ago, but now 2 games in a row, they kind of threw it away. I think we're clicking more than they are, right? You know what I mean? Like, they still have a whole lot more to figure out. Our defense is elite. Their defense is the opposite of elite. You know what I mean? So I think we have a good chance. A good chance. Even with their schedule, if they go 500 and we go, I'll quote Shuttle. If we go 8-2, and in the midst of the 8-2, one of those 8 is we beat them, I think we eclipse them.
Yeah,
because I don't see them going 8-2. I see them going 6-4.
they play. They lost to Milwaukee. I mean, they lost to the Lakers. They play the Pelicans tonight. That's a tough game. They play Atlanta. They play the Wizards. They play Memphis. Toronto. And then we play them on the 7th. Right? And if we're able to hold fort, that could be a big game right there.
Mm-hmm.
Then they play Boston on April 9th. That could be Boston could be not throwing in the towel, but they could be resting their players
people
at that point. They play
do
Orlando, they play OKC. So there's going to be a chance for the Knicks there.
you think the NBA upholds their new rule if guys are sitting out, even if it's like the last couple games of the season? Or do you think that affects the decision of, organizations and resting players down the stretch?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because you got to factor that in too.
Right.
They may play 20 minutes as opposed to 30 something, you know what I mean? Just so they don't get fined or whatever the case.
Yeah.
Or maybe they don't care about the fine. But, just more perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. That's looking at, they had New Orleans can beat them. I don't know about Atlanta and Washington or Memphis. It's that 4-game stretch. Atlanta, Washington, Memphis, Toronto.
I think if they lose one of those, that's out in. That's out in right there.
Right. Because
lose one of those, lose to us and lose to Boston, that's out. That's out in.
Yeah. Right. And we beat them. We got to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
We got to beat them because we got to end up with a better record than them.
Yep.
Right? Because they've beaten us 3 times. We've beat them once. We play them one more time. They're still going to have the season series against us.
You got the phone lines up, son?
Yeah. I'm gonna turn it on. But yeah. There's gonna be a chance. There's definitely gonna be a chance for us to take over that second seed. That would be amazing if the Knicks are able to do so. You know what I'm saying? That would be amazing for the Knicks. To finish off this season, 10 games left in the season for the Knicks. We play San Antonio tomorrow. Then we play OKC. That's going to be a tough game. We play Miami on April 2nd. Miami, they're fighting for playoff position. Sacramento's fighting for playoff position. Chicago, they're trying to stay in the play-in. Boston, that could be a game where they're sitting players, and then we play Brooklyn on April 12th. So we definitely have a tougher schedule than they do, no doubt about it. You know what I mean? But hey, we've been able to maintain up until this point. And surprise people up until this point. You know what I'm saying? I don't see why we can't do it. Go ahead. What was you gonna say?
They've been looking funny in the light. You know what I mean? They haven't been. They don't look real to me. They don't look real to me.
Who? Milwaukee?
Milwaukee. Yeah, they have their moments. But their moments is talent based. You know what I mean? It's not chemistry based. It's not coaching based. You know what I mean? Like they don't have the full package. They don't have. I know they won a championship, but they don't feel like a championship team.
Right. Well, looking at the Knicks,
I was just gonna say, and we do.
Just looking at the Knicks' record. Oh, all right. San Antonio, OKC, Miami, Sacramento, Chicago, Milwaukee, Chicago again. So we play Chicago twice. Boston, Brooklyn. Where do you think we go in that stretch? Yeah, you're muted.
My bad. I'm gonna say 7-3 down the stretch.
Okay. That puts us at 51 wins.
51.
That's a feat.
Yep.
that's a feat. You know what I mean? 51 wins. I think anybody any day would have taken that coming into this season. 51 wins for the Knicks.
And it just makes you wonder what could this team have been at full strength, or what can we be next year? Not even talking about with a move being made. You know what I mean? But just coming in with the roster as is for a full season. You know what I mean? Where could we be?
Right.
Dangerous.
Exactly. Real dangerous. Given that this roster comes back, you know what I'm saying? Full health. Yeah, this roster can be dangerous. You know what I'm saying? It can be real dangerous. Big shout out to the Knicks, man, for grabbing a hold of the third seed. They're just a half game above Cleveland, and Cleveland, they probably have an easier schedule than the Knicks. So we'll see how long the Knicks are able to hold on to that third seed. I mean, they play San Antonio coming up, so you're gonna have you should have a chance to win that game, right? Cleveland, they just lost to Charlotte. They play Philadelphia on Saturday, so the Knicks got a chance right there. Actually, no, their schedule is not easier. Their schedule might be just as tough as the Knicks coming down the stretch. They play Philadelphia, then they play Denver, they play Utah, Phoenix, the Lakers, the Clippers. Then they play Memphis, they play Indiana, and they play Charlotte. So their schedule is just as tough as the Knicks.
I would argue tougher.
Yeah.
And then one thing that I love about this team is we haven't played down to our competition this year. You know what I mean? We haven't really had many letdown games. I mean, obviously every loss is a disappointment, but we've beaten the teams we're supposed to.
Yeah. Yeah, so, this is going to be an interesting 10 games, down the stretch of the season. I think the Knicks can hold on to that third seed, at least. I think they can hold on to the third seed and possibly make a push for that second seed. You know what I mean? I definitely think they can. I see Knicks GM said 43 wins. Let me get this over here. Said 43 wins cemented, back-to-back winning seasons. Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Back-to-back, 44 wins, actually. The Knicks have 44 wins. Back-to-back winning seasons for the Knicks. When's the last time we did that?
Wasn't under Fizdale.
When's the last time the Knicks had back-to-back winning seasons? When's the last time the Knicks had back-to-back playoff seasons?
And who was the coach? Was it the same coach?
Right. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Right. Back-to-back winning seasons for the Knicks. For the first time since probably 2012, 2013. Back-to-back playoff seasons. Right? Since 2012, 2013. Or whenever that time period was, in that time period, the mellow period. Right? There was something else in there that I forgot that I was about to mention. I forgot now, but and if they get the third seed, that's you see a constant climb. From one season they were the fourth seed, then they went to the fifth seed, now the third seed. That's a climb. You know what I'm saying?
And now we gotta climb in where we finish.
Right. Exactly. Now we gotta climb.
You know what I mean? Because that's the trend too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Playoffs 3 of the last 4 seasons for the Knicks. All under Tom Thibodeau. You know what I'm saying? All under Tom Thibodeau. To all the Tib haters out there. All of them under Tom Thibodeau. Jay Boogie, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
Salute. 3 capital S's. Blessing, health, happiness, my brother. My two kings. Shout out to Mr. Sim doing what he doing. Lifelong legend. You know what I'm saying? Lifelong legend. Mr. Ron O'Neal, a.k.a. the Superfly of the podcast. He's over there with my man, a.k.a. the Young Richard Pryor, Mr. Stickum again. We're not playing with it. Shout out to the family that's up under us below doing what they're doing, up under this orange and blue. No more CHT word for me. I'm never using that word again. Everybody is family. This is a family type season right here. So shout out to y'all. When I say family, I'm talking to those that's listening and watching in the show right now. But right now, I got a problem with the league. They think this is an action-packed movie. They want to treat us like they're Attila. We talking about lay down, the bet's on Attila, wrong bet. Get up. My man Brunson is like Van Damme. Get up, handle your business, do what he's doing. This is why this general right here should be mentioned in as for MVP for what he's doing. If you take the top 4 teams, if you take Joker and take away his players, if you take DSJ, take away his players, if you take Giannis and take away all his players, and you take whoever else is up there in the top 4, if you take Tatum and take away his players, they can't do what we're doing right here, right now. Everybody right now has been on a mission, been on the court, saying if we would have been a full roster, they know we'd have been knocking on the door. We would have already been a 2 seed, threatening for the 1 seed. But being that we don't have lost all our players throughout pretty much the season, this guy don't win from the thoughts of us being in the 2nd seed. The got us from, you know what I'm saying, from whatever 6th seed to the 5th seed to the 4th seed to now we're in the 3rd seed and we still knocking. Shout out to Brunson for doing everything he's been doing all year long. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching TV. I got my jacket on. I see everybody that's going. But soon the tournament going to be over with, and I'm gonna have my playoff jacket watching everybody. We're talking about what seed we're going to be. Notice teams is not being in our way. They ducking to get out of our way because they scared for this whole roster to get all the way healthy. I'm gonna say it again. They scared for this roster to get all the way healthy, and I'm greedy right now. I want more than Brunson to be considered as, you know what I'm saying, MVP of this year. I want Tom to be considered as coach of the year. I want Dante to be mentioned as the most improved player. I want our office to be the executive of the year. I want all that. I want us to be known as the best fans in all sports, not just basketball, football, baseball. I don't care. The golf fans on this outside of that rope. This is our time. This is our season right here. I'm telling you right now, we better not be completely healthy. Julius come back. He better not be able to put on. OG come back. That elbow better not be able to stand up. Everybody know what time it is right here that's in the orange and blue. But I need the blue and the green to be knowing what time it is. When I say blue and green, I'm talking about the world. That's the blue and the green, you know what I'm saying? And it's money time. When you take orange and you mix it with the blue, you know what color you come out with. You come out green. It's money time. I'm out of here, man. But turn up, y'all. Keep doing what you're doing. Believe and have faith in the squad. Salute, 3 capital S's.
That's that man right there, Jay
Clip
Boogie.
that.
That's that
Clip
man
that,
right
Slim.
there. That's that man. Jay Boogie in the building, man. Big shout out to Ghost Rider. Says salute, Sam and Tony. I'm liking this spread and shoot offense lately. It looks good. No doubt about it, right? A lot of movement, a lot of passing, a lot of cutting, a lot of slicing and dicing. You know what I mean? So there's naturally concern that when Julius Randle comes back, it changes. What's your thought process on that, Tony?
I'll ask you 2 questions. Can Julius shoot?
Mm-hmm.
Can he spread?
Yep.
All right. We good.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I mean, when you look at the way the Knicks were playing before Julius Randle went out, you know what I'm saying? They were playing basketball like they were the best. They were the best team in the league during that stretch. When OG came and Julius was there, Brunson was playing, the Knicks were the best team in the league at that time. They were shutting teams down. They were blowing teams out. You know what I'm saying? And they were scoring the basketball. We got to look at that time period, that time frame.
Quickly,
And they hadn't even started really like Dante and like they hadn't started clicking the way that they're clicking now.
That's the thing.
You dig what I'm saying? They hadn't started clicking the way that they're clicking now. You know what I mean? So when Randle gets back, I believe that Randle is going to, you know, just play within the mix.
I mean, you see him on the bench watching what's going on.
Exactly.
You know, it's not like he don't see what's going on.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think Randle's gonna come back. I think he's gonna click with everyone when he comes back. I think it's gonna click. He's gonna play within the system that the Knicks are playing, but also when they need him to score and defense is actually clamped down, you're gonna need Julius Randle to be able to get in the post and bully the ball up. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what it's like this season with the shoulder injury and all of that kind of stuff. We'll see what it's like when he comes back. But I think he's going to be able to. I think he's going to fit in, but then also be that guy that can relieve Brunson of the scoring duties. That can go one-on-one when it's necessary. I think it's going to be fine.
I mean, yeah, because to even still, our biggest weakness, even though we've improved on it, our biggest weakness is the non-Brunson minutes.
Right.
So,
yeah, I mean, so yeah, I'm not worried about it at all. I ain't worried about it. I think Randle's gonna come back. Things are gonna be great. When he comes back, I think it's gonna, things gonna fit in smoothly. But Mitch is back.
before you,
Go ahead, Tom.
I can't scroll in the chat, but you got a new member. If you could find him.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, but
Mitch is back. How you feel about seeing Mitch out there on the floor? He looked big. He looked huge.
you know how I feel, Sim. You know how I feel, man. Like, he was doing damage, and it was visible that he's not.
Right.
His time is not there yet. You know what I mean? His condition is not all the way there yet. His game speed's not there yet. You know what I mean? And he was still doing damage. Now, granted, let's put context, right? Who we played against, second unit, etc. So he's probably playing against a third unit technically, with where everybody got having to move up with guys out on that team. But I mean, it's great to have him back. I'm glad that he has this 10-game stretch to kind of find himself. I love that he's out there making moves to the basket, putting the ball on the floor. You know what I mean? First play, I think his first time touching the ball. I think he drove to the basket. The other one ended up being an offensive foul off the challenge. You know what I mean? Called the N1, but ended up being called a shooting foul, but ended up getting challenged and turned to. But I mean, that's what I wanted. That's what we all been waiting for, right? And I ain't looking for every possession. You know what I mean? I just want you to show a little bit more. But keep doing what you dominant at.
Right.
And he did that.
Right.
Getting them rebounds, blocking them shots, blocking it and keeping the possession. You know what I mean? And yeah, man. Even split between him and Hartenstein is the best solution for both these guys.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Both of them still on kind of minute restrictions. You know what I mean? Both dealing with, injury or recovery. I mean, let's utilize these two, because I don't think the league has a better two centers. We literally got two starting centers. You know what I mean? Whether we knew it or not in the beginning of the year, we got two starting centers.
Right.
Defensive juggernauts.
Right. Listen, for the rest of this season, Mitch is going to come off the bench. There's no doubt about that in my mind. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason to rock the boat. We'll see what happens, next season. But for right now, Mitch is going to come off the bench, which I think is going to be good for him. You know what I mean? To just come in, lock down some defense. Obviously, he can come in for Isaiah Hartenstein at any time during the game, and keep up the production. Blocking shots, rebounding the basketball. How many minutes did Mitch get last night?
I don't think he hit 20.
No.
I don't think he hit 20. I want to say he played, if I'm somewhere between 7 and 15. because I don't remember him playing much at all down the stretch, like in the second half. So I know he had his big stretch in the first half.
Let me see. Last night,
They're saying 12 minutes in the chat.
12 minutes. Yeah, 12 minutes, 26 seconds for Mitch last night.
And was productive.
It was productive. Yeah, it was productive.
Like immediate impact. And that was another thing. I talked about the non-Brunson minutes. The non-Hartenstein minutes with Mitch out was actually, I might even correct my previous statement. That might have been more detrimental than the non-Brunson minutes.
Right.
The non-Hartenstein minutes, you know what I mean, when we didn't have Mitch.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Depending on the matchups.
Depending on the matchups.
You know, not taking anything away from Precious.
Right. Depending on the matchups. Those non-Hartenstein minutes sometimes hurt. You know what I mean? But man, I mean, it's such, the Knicks get so much bigger, so much longer, another shot blocker out there on the floor. It improves the versatility on defense. You know what I mean?
Widens the margin of error.
Yeah, definitely widens that margin of error. It's great. It's great to have Mitch back. You know what I mean? And man, now Precious can go to the 4 in that second unit. You know.
We still haven't seen Mitch and OG.
We still haven't seen Mitch and OG.
I'm not even talking about starting that. I'm just saying we still haven't seen them on the floor together.
Right.
In any capacity.
Right. In any capacity. We haven't seen Mitch and OG together. You know what I mean? It's going hopefully it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? We get to see them two guys together and what that defense can look like. I mean, because the Knicks are, we get to see what it looks like. Really happy to have Mitchell Robinson back, man. Really happy. Your thoughts on Duece?
Oh, man.
And what Duece is doing?
Duece, man.
What they have? 29 points last night? 9 threes?
6 threes in the first quarter. Looking like he was about to break DiVincenzo's record after a game. Like, which he could have. Very well could have. You know what I mean? Because Tibbs, we had 7 minutes of garbage time last night.
Right.
7 minutes of no rotation. Or I'm sorry, Precious was the only rotation player on the floor for the last 6 minutes and like 30-something seconds of the game. When have we ever seen that from Tibbs? Garbage time at 6. It was 6.5 minutes left.
Right.
So yeah, Duece could have easily broke DiVincenzo's record after just one game. You know what I mean? Like, had 6 in the first quarter, ended with 9, and Tibbs pulled them. He was like, "Nah, you'll have an opportunity down the road."
Yeah, we're gonna let that stand for a second.
And you could see it too, like DiVincenzo in the first quarter, you could see him like watching, but he wasn't mad. He wasn't upset. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was encouraging it by the fourth quarter. Like, I see you.
Yeah, Dude's 29 points.
He was trying to catch up. You know what I mean? Because DiVincenzo started dropping.
He started dropping bombs.
Nah, let me.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, he ain't going that quick. Yeah, Dude's 29 points, 7 assists, 9 for 14 from the 3-point line, 10 for 17 overall.
7 assists, 1 turnover.
7 assists, 1 turnover. Right.
That's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's been another huge part of his MO. As much as we forget to mention that this man don't turn the ball over.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
he
does not turn the ball over. Increase his minutes, increase his playing time, increase his usage. You know what I mean? Shot gets better. He shows you more. Still don't turn the ball over. I mean, he's another one that extension ends up being a steal. A steal.
Yeah.
For the next 3 years.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, man. Even off the bench, though. Precious had 19 points, 12 rebounds. I'm just looking at it. I mean, obviously the Knicks scored 145 points, so it's gonna be a lot of points to go around.
And a monster dunk down the stretch.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt about it. But Duece, man, I mean, his the way that he's ascending right now is just beautiful to watch. And all the times, fans die. I know me, there were times where I was like, man, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But now, the Knicks going with a super small lineup. He's been starting, Duece, Brunson, Hartenstein, Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, and he's capitalizing. Every time he steps out there on the floor, he's doing it defensively. You know what I'm saying? He's knocking down shots when he needs to knock down shots. He's doing everything out there that's asked of him. And he don't care if he's scoring or not scoring. You know what I'm saying? He's just hooping. He's just playing. And he's kind of playing that quickly role for the Knicks right now.
Yeah. Efficiently.
You know what I'm saying?
I want to shout out the fans who were on it from the beginning. You know what I mean? With Duece. For the fans from the beginning who was out there bringing up his G League numbers and talking about what he's doing in the G League and saying, I'm telling you, he could do it. He could do it. So shout out to y'all. That was, Duece side from the beginning. Because like you said, Slim, a lot of us, we had our moments where we knew what he was good at, but there's a lot of us that didn't see him becoming this efficient of a scorer, this soon. Right. I'll say that this soon.
Right.
That's got to be one of the fastest ascensions in a Tibbs rotation, or if not fastest, biggest leap. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and with guys hitting shots like this, obviously the Knicks were playing, teams not really good, but with guys hitting shots, it's giving Brunson more of a chance to relax, not have so much on his shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Not have to carry that scoring load when guys are hitting shots. The way Duece is, the way DiVincenzo
it does two things. It gives Brunson a chance to become more efficient.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, because he's more rested. You know what I mean? Can pick his spots a little bit more strategically. You know what I mean? Like you said, don't have to carry the load every moment. And then on the other side is when Brunson has that rare bad off game, off night. You know what I mean? It's showing, hey, we got to carry Brunson tonight. You know what I mean? Right. And I think we capable of that with the way guys are playing. We ain't even talk about Hart yet. Another triple double.
It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like the Knicks, guys are having career years all over the board for the Knicks. All over the board, guys are having career years. Like, how can that happen? How can so many guys at one time have years like this? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, and it's all lining up together.
And the only consistent variable there is Thibodeau. You know what I mean?
That's the only consistent variable. Tom Thibodeau. As much as people hate it, what I'm saying? That's the only consistent variable. What can you say? What can you say? Great job by Tom Thibodeau and the coaching staff. But, so many guys having career years. Even Randle was having a career year before he went out. Like, Randle was playing the best basketball that we had ever seen before he went out and got injured. We had ever seen from him.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
And you consider that with the perspective of where he started this year.
Right. Exactly. From where he started to what he was doing before he left. He was having a career year. He was taking his game to heights that we hadn't seen. You know what I'm saying? So, that was we'll see where it's going to take the Knicks. Hopefully, it takes us to the promised land. That's the hope.
I wanna highlight this comment. Monarch Smart TV. He said Brunson's dad's doing a great job. I just wanted to highlight and give him the credit and say he is also a variable in this scenario. You know what I mean? Not to take anything away from Tibbs, but he's another variable who, you know what I mean? Obviously, you got to say he's been a part of this ascension with these individual guys. I know a lot of those guys have relationships with him as well. And I mean, obviously the Villanova guys have relationships with him already. I think Randle has had, taken a liking to him as well. Mm-hmm. As far as I always see, him having that little one-on-one with Randle, similar to what Woodson was doing when he was the assistant. So I think that's fair.
Yeah, definitely fair. And I want to give a shout out, take this opportunity to give a shout out to Jay Albino 59 became a channel member. Thank you, and I appreciate it. Big shout out to you. Yeah, man. I don't know. Anything else you want to tackle? I know we're gonna jump over.
Josh
show
Hart,
on your channel a little bit.
I mean, we didn't really, you know what I mean, speak about him and his triple doubles, and I mean another one when you talk about where he started in the beginning of the year, right? to where he is, playing. I mean, you can't even say arguably this is his best basketball of his career.
Oh
right?
Yeah,
considering he had no triple doubles in his career before this year, and then I don't know what the start date is, January, whatever, February, whatever, but now he's on what, number 6, number 7 in a half a season stretch. I mean, another guy.
Well, he didn't have a triple double last night, did he?
If it wasn't last night, it was the game before. Yeah, the game before. The Detroit game.
Yeah.
So what's that, 6?
I don't know how many it is, but he's got to be one of the tops in the league in triple doubles this year.
I think he's 5. I think he's 5 in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Sabonis is number 1. I know that for sure. Because that surprised me. Sabonis, random thought, but he's about to have his All NBA year. If he's never made it, he's definitely having a career year. But now I think he's number 5 in the league this year.
Yeah, I mean,
or at least he was before the Detroit game.
Right. Josh has 6 triple doubles this year. Yeah, I mean, listen, just watching him, getting to see him like really up close. You know what I'm saying? He's just all over the place all the time. I mean, just always there. And it's like he just has a nose for seeing where the ball is going to be, and he goes and gets it. You know what I mean? And it's another testament to Tom Thibodeau allowing him to do things that maybe the other teams didn't allow him to do. His ability to get the ball off the glass and go coast to coast and score. You know what I'm saying? Tom Thibodeau recognized that he had that ability and do it whenever you see it's available. You know what I mean?
Not only that, but then it opens up other things.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like you don't have to. You're not gonna make it all the way to the rim every time, but it. What does Tibbs say? put the pressure on the rim, and then it opens up whatever else is there. So there's one thing I do want to comment on, get your take on. You just talked about noticing something that maybe you didn't know Josh Hart had before. What about Hartenstein's recent offensive output? Brunson and his chemistry. Mm-hmm. I mean, Brunson's been finding him left and right off the pick and roll, as of late.
And
that, you know what I mean? And finishing strong, not just the floater every time now. Like, you know what I mean? He's finding him in positions to where all he got to do is rise and finish. I'm loving that dynamic. It's Like we didn't see that too much early
Right.
in the year.
Right. Yeah, and it started a couple of games ago, whatever that game was where they scored like 73 points or something like that. And then they came back and you started to see the Brunson and Hartenstein pick and roll come into play. You know what I'm saying? Consistently, and now it's starting to grow and develop a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? And they're starting to use Hartenstein, getting them the ball at the elbow with guys cutting off of him, cutting and slicing to the basket. You know what I'm saying? And guys are consistently cutting and moving and cutting off of Isaiah Hartenstein when he has the basketball. You know, so that has definitely been a big improvement in the offense.
And to your point, I believe this is what you were saying, but constant, like you might see two guys rotate around Hartenstein looking to get that, like in one possession.
In
you
one
know what I mean? Like,
possession.
oh, now I didn't get it for Brunson. All right, shot. Now Josh Hart is doing that same curl around.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it makes it tough for the defense. You know what I mean? Because you have to have your head on the swivel. You gotta look at your man. You gotta look at Hartenstein. You gotta look at the next. You know what I mean? So it's really opening things up, and now it's just more read and react. I mean, it looks so easier, so much easier, right?
Yeah.
Like where was that?
But you know, sometimes
comfortability.
But you know what? Yeah, it takes time for it to grow and develop too. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't happen like that. You're saying it takes time for it to grow, develop. And when Randle comes back, it's going to change a little bit because, you know, Randle's kind of big to be curling around Isaiah Hartenstein. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's going to change a little bit, but you still got to be able to see it. You know, you should be able to make it mesh together so that you're getting the best. You know what I'm saying? You know, so you're able to get Randle's one-on-one ability, his ability to pass. You're getting Hartenstein's ability to pass from the high post. You know, you got to be able to mix it all in there.
That's a fact.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you know, the Knicks are doing some good things out there, ladies and gentlemen. 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference. They're going to have a chance to keep hold of it. They're going to have a chance to get 50 wins this season. A lot of positive stuff. A lot of positive stuff. I'm loving it.
It's almost like in the past, in these kind of moments, I was always waiting for what's the term, like the other shoe to drop.
Shoe to drop.
I don't feel that way this time.
Nah, I feel you. I
do not feel that way this time. It's like it just feels like things are aligning. You know what I mean? Things are aligning slowly. Like every obstacle ends up being like just another notch on the belt. You know what I mean? Like everything we overcome, every injury we overcome, every guy that steps up, it just is just like, all right, that's another star, or that's another accomplishment. Boom, boom, boom. And we just waiting on that finished product, man. And it feels like it's almost done. You smell it. You smell it coming out the oven. You know what I mean? Like, salivating, stomach growling. It's like, it's almost ready, man. It's almost ready.
Yeah, no doubt. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna get up out of here. I do have some other things to do today. Tony, what time we going on?
I mean, we can start whenever you ready. I think I got it set for like 220, 230, something like that. But
yeah, okay. Well, you know, we can
it's gonna
start
be
at
a short
2:30.
one, so
You know what I'm saying? We can start at 2:30, I guess.
Sound good to
All right,
me.
so join us over on Knicks and Bruises at 2:30.
We'll be there.
You know what I mean? You know, talk some more Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your time. And
you might see us tonight too.
You know what I'm saying? We up out of here. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.